me? And is she here? Okay. All right. We already had our first technical glitch right off the bat. This does not bode well. I have here with me Dr. Laurie McManus, who's head of the musicology department at Shenandoah Conservatory in Winchester, Virginia. And so we truly have a transcontinental connection here. So Laurie, thank you so much for being here. We're going to just do a variety of things to show you how online teaching can work. So Laurie, just maybe talk just briefly about your background and sort of, you know, how you came to studying piano again.
Yeah. I really spent more years taking harpsichord lessons, so it just happened. And when I got to meet Tommy at UNC Chapel Hill when I was doing my musicology degree, I managed to take a semester of lessons with him, and it started me on the right track, and then we've reconnected. So I've been taking a year and a month or two online. So this is not a new experience for us today.
Right. And she actually did a retraining technically where we went back to just very, very beginning basics and have progressed through more elementary pieces up into intermediate level pieces. So we're going to have a whole variety of things to share with you. And we're going to start with just a little bit of technique. So of course that's critical for us to be able to teach technique. So Laurie, what you got? What do you want?
About basic arpeggio?
Okay, all right. So yes, I wasn't totally ready. So would you do that again for me, please? Okay, so how's that feeling, first of all?
It feels pretty loose. I didn't hit all the right notes necessarily, but it felt okay.
Yeah, well, you know, right notes are overrated anyway, so it's the gesture that matters. So it looks good when you're doing the eighths and the triplets. When you go to the 16ths, then the position seems to change a little bit. The hand flattens out, looks like a little bit. So if you can keep that same level of the thumb being up like we've talked about, and yeah, yes, exactly. So would you go maybe from the triplets, you know, into the 16th? Yeah, the ascent is good. So it's the descent that we're having a little bit more issue with.
I think this is just awkward being up here with left hand.
Right. Well, if you want to go actually an octave lower, that's fine as well. And of course, remember, yes, exactly, that you'll need to shift your body over as well, which you did. Yeah, try that one more time. Of course, key C is about the worst key that you could have picked.
We might as well do the hard one.
Because yeah, you have nothing to anchor on in terms of black keys. Yeah. So yes, go again, and just stop on the thumb on the triplet on the way down for me. Right.
Where is it?
Yeah, one more time with that. Good. Right. And now do like that.
Like that, 2 octaves.
Good. Right. Yeah. And then try the and minimizing. So, because when you did it before, I was hearing a lot of a big staccato break. So. Yeah, something that is happening is you're not quite getting your weight into the thumb.
Yeah.
Can you just really make sure that you're feeling heavy, that you're transferring that weight?
This is also a bad Z on this piano. I have to kill it for sound to come out.
There we go. Yeah, good, good. Exactly. All right, and we could try the right hand.
We could also do a major if we wanted.
Hey, let's change it up.
All right. You know what's weird is that my right hand, it feels more fingery, and it's not like the bigger gestures that it feels like with my left hand. I don't know if that's translating in what we're seeing. It just feels like, I don't know, it doesn't feel as, I don't know, fluid.
Ah, okay. Right. Well, try it one more time, please.
Okay.
That seemed fine. We had a little technical glitch here with the recording for a moment. Yeah. What about the going into the 16ths? Okay. Can you be sure to really keep a nice steady tempo as you went up? It started to get a little faster. Yeah, so what's one thing I'm not quite hearing the shift, it sounds the same from the triplets to the 16th. So can you okay, now it was interesting. That was good, but the video and the audio unfortunately didn't line up, so it was a little bizarre. So folks, you're seeing some of the issues that you can run into.
Although I have to say, we don't usually have these issues, and I think it's because everyone is doing all their work online right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, that definitely makes it a little trickier.
Yeah.
So, okay, well, let's move into some repertoire. We were going to do some Kabalevsky to start, so part of the novelette from the Opus 27 children's pieces. So the middle section of that.
We're gonna start with the D minor open fifth.
Okay.
So into that from.
Yeah, that was good. All right. Yes. So other than a few interesting notes at the climactic moment.
I got that part.
Yeah. I thought it actually had good flow and direction. I thought you built it well in terms of the dynamics. One thing that you could try is to gradually, we talked about this before, but that the phrases perhaps get a little faster as you start moving through a little bit. So I could hear perhaps more of that if you can. So would you try it again with that in mind?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, one thing, Laurie, careful, because I'm hearing.
Not too loud.
Yeah, so you really want this that's being played during the tie in your right hand, the left hand, the second left hand note, to be less loud, so it doesn't cover the. Good.
Yeah.
Right. Start moving. Good. Fast. Good. Okay, nice. Yeah. How does that feel to you? Does that feel like it's getting
Didn't
too?
feel too much like a drunk sailor this time. Sometimes in the past when I try to go accelerating through there, it feels too much.
Okay. Yeah, I think you found a good balance there. One thing that you might think about in terms of pedal, I was looking at this. This gets perhaps a little bit funky, and you could change the pedal here and then hold, because then you don't have the dissonance of the C and the A against the B flat. Try it slowly.
This. That.
Right. So what I'm suggesting is to change the pedal on the second right hand note while you're holding the left hand. So it's just 1/8 sooner of a pedal change than what you've been doing. Actually, you've been holding all the way through, haven't you?
What? Yeah.
You've been holding. All right. So I'm saying to do an extra pedal change in there to get rid of, so we don't have some, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
That.
Yes.
I can't read. Or I could change that one too. I mean.
Right. Because that also sounds a little messy to me. Yeah. Because then you just have a nice C7, and here you have the G flat major 7th, where so it's just something to think about.
Yeah.
As an option, with this. So one last thing I'd like you to try, Laurie, is to see if you can get that to feel yet a little bit more climactic, so that the fortissimo is a little more commanding, perhaps. Mm-hmm. And again, just for our audience, sometimes the computer programs will flatten out the fortissimos and make them sound less loud, particularly in the bass. So that's something you have to be aware of, and to ask the student whether they are feeling that they're actually playing softer in their left hand, because they may be playing louder, and yet it's not coming across to us that way. So that is one of the challenges that we face, particularly nowadays. I have noticed that this issue is popping up much more than it was prior to the COVID issue, because we have so many more people online, and it's impacting the quality of our internet connections.
Oh.
So, not to mention our lives. Okay, so would you perhaps go from there, please?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Did that feel, how that feel to you?
Wow, big.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's what we want. Yeah, that is the big climactic moment in a piece that is certainly not dramatic for the rest of it, but that middle section, and that's why I wanted to do this, so that we could hear the variety of of that you can get, and creating the line, the beautiful line. So all that's good. All right. So we now wanted to go, and will go to something totally different, which are a few of the Goldberg variations of Bach. And we're looking at some fingering issues, and because this is something that we need to deal with as well, even online, and we can do that successfully. So it was variation, well, was variation 23 really a fingering issue, or was that just more kind of how to negotiate it technically?
Well, I didn't know if the fingering that I was using is affecting the sound production in a way, or whether I'm just struggling on this piano. I was learning these on harpsichord, and now they're on the piano right now, so yeah. So what measure is this?
It's 20, wasn't it?
23.
23 of variation 20. Measured, yeah, the 23 and the number happen to line up. Woo! Okay, so it's just right hand, right?
Yep.
Correct?
So that flourish. And then this trill.
Right.
So I'm doing it 2, 2, 3.
Oh, and then using thumb on the D sharp?
Thumb on the D sharp, yeah.
Aha. Okay, so what I would suggest perhaps is doing a 3-1 on the ornament, and then coming across with a 2.
Let me try that.
Right.
That works okay. I don't know if it's the piano or just this trill. Is it coming out right?
Yeah, so it sounds, so, you know, one of the things you could consider is actually potentially you can leave out the ornament if it's not.
Yes.
But it's always better to do that than, and that's one of the things we can do in Baroque music. We can change the ornaments, we can leave them out, we can add them. And so so I would much rather, whoops, not that. not
That's there.
But yeah. Or you could do something like that. Because that is awkward, yeah. Or another possibility is you have a variety of options. But yeah.
I like 1 and 3. I'm gonna work on that though.
Yeah, and then I would also suggest, and let me show you kind of what I'm doing. So this is one of our techniques that we can, so that you can see that you're coming up. Yeah, so I wouldn't try to connect there, but I don't know why I keep doing a D. Or something along those.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, so I think that
3 and 1.
And then
the other conundrum is in the next variation. There's going to be measures 18 and 19, left hand.
Okay, variation 24. All right.
So I've got this nice single line at the beginning of 18. And then he just adds another voice on top of it, and suddenly I've got parallel thirds across the downbeat. What Bach?
Oh my!
And suddenly I don't know what fingering to use.
Okay, right. So my score has a 2, 3, 1, 4. which I don't recommend that. That seems very to me. Yeah.
My score somehow incredibly has 5 too, and I don't really know how you get to a 5 on that B, but whatever.
I guess it depends on your articulation. If you're just doing, if you're trying to do legato,
Yeah.
and it's hard and you'd have to use pedal. But that seems very awkward to me. So I would suggest perhaps something like this. So that you're sliding your thumb, and then you can even take your thumb up to the G.
Yeah, I like having my thumb on the G.
Or you can take your second finger.
Yeah.
That's another possibility.
What are you doing on the B and the C in the left hand?
The B, so I'm doing a 3-3-2.
Oh, you're just using thumb.
Yeah, I'm sliding.
Yeah, that
So
works.
Does that feel okay?
Yeah.
That sounds good. There you go. Right.
Yeah, and I don't like to play this one fast anyway. It's not going to be a problem.
Right. Yeah, I mean, if you were not doing legato, then it wouldn't matter. But if you are, then I of course use a touch of pedal. Pedal, 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 pedal.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to use pedal on this one because I like it legato at a lot of places, and the fingering is just thorny, so that the pedal's necessary here. Said the harpsichordist.
Absolutely. Well, as a pianist,
Yeah.
my feeling is you use pedal judiciously in this music.
Yeah.
But you do need to
I have to figure out how to use it, so I may come back to you for help with this variation at some point.
But using the pedal to create legato connections in places where you can't is just an integral part of playing on the piano.
Yeah.
So here we go. So sometimes then that can help with fingering, because if you try to actually do a legato fingering, you get all twisted up.
Yeah, like playing the organ.
Yes. So, okay, well, I think that solves that. And our last piece is going to be from Bartok for Children.
Yay.
21. And I'm going to now move my computer to a different spot so folks can see that as another option. I had told some people in a previous conversation that I had about online teaching that I've had a back issue. And this is probably optimal for you to see me. But for me, having to turn and twist back and forth, it's not ideal. So folks, just be.
You need a rolling chair.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Definitely an option as well. So let's see what we've got. I'm gonna follow along here with my handy dandy Bartok score. Okay. Okay, you froze up for a moment, so there we got to see that too. But it was fortunately just a moment. So, all right.
All right.
All right. Yeah. Fire away. Okay, yes, so thanks, Laurie. We are definitely having issues with the playing and the sound, there being a lag. So folks, this is not something that normally happens either, but it is happening a lot more, unfortunately, in the last few weeks. So it's something that we have to work around and do the best that we can. So yeah, let's go once more. I was also getting some a little bit of distortion in the forte sound, which normally I don't get either.
I
So-
copied the space.
Okay, let's go again with this.
Mhm.
Well, great. Wait, let's stop for a sec. Stop for a sec. The sforzandi, I'm not quite hearing the difference between that and the regular forte. So, would you try that, just that opening?
Yeah.
Yeah, good.
Better?
Yes, that was better. Yeah, particularly the first and the third sforzando, I thought worked well. The second sforzando didn't feel quite as strong, but yeah, that just has a lot has a lot more character, I think. Let's continue with the. Okay, good. Yeah. All right, thank you.
Where are these notes?
Yeah, now it's lining up a little bit better in terms of the visual and the audio. So, do you feel like you're playing piano? Not playing the piano, but that you're playing the dynamic piano?
Yeah, because usually I'm playing too quietly.
Okay, because I think it could be even more contrast.
Okay, I'll start more quietly then.
So, even more quietly than that. So, and then the little accent, that'll stand out a little bit more. And you could possibly even maybe use soft pedal. I'm just curious what it sounds like if you use soft pedal there.
I'll give it a try.
Yeah, okay, it's still.
Is that better?
I'd still like it even quieter.
Okay.
Yeah, would you do the first measure for me slower and really as quiet as you think you can actually do it and get the notes to sound.
It's just loud.
Yeah, it's still so. I think you're yeah. So can you stay closer to the key? Just a much smaller movement. There. Okay, right. And now we had the fun thing that the recording actually speeded you up a little bit. We had a little bit of a lag. Oh boy, we're getting
a little bit.
Yeah, I didn't know if it was you or if it was the recording, but let's go from. And really keep an ironclad pulse, Laurie. Yeah, so yup, yup.
Okay.
Okay.
Will do.
Okay. But.
Whole phrase is piano, right?
Softer. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's still really. Sorry, that sounds like mezzo forte at least, to me.
This piano is also bright, and I have trouble controlling it.
So let's just. How softly can you play those first couple? That's better. Yeah. One more time. So what does it sound like when I play it? Does it sound quiet or does it sound loud?
Oh, it sounds loud, quiet, but I feel like it's just like bright in this room or something. We should maybe mention to the audience that this is a new house and this is our first lesson in this new house. So yeah.
Right, and our first lesson in a long time. Right. One more time. One more time.
This is funny because I'm a student who usually has trouble playing loudly.
Yes. Good. Right. Yeah. And then, so would you do? So we get that nice contrast. Yeah. It sounded like you played a lot faster once you got to the forte.
Yes, I did.
Could you keep the same tempo? Yep. And I think we talked about even possibly starting a little slower.
Okay, let's try it. Wait, loud.
Okay, yeah. So we're still having some issues in terms of the steadiness of the tempo.
Wait, do you want me to play it metronomically the whole time?
Well, I want you once you hit tempo, yes.
Okay.
So, and when you really take hold of that, yeah, like, hello, here we are, forte.
Yeah.
That was better. That was a lot more contrast. And can you just do the ending? What are you hearing there? So what do you hear me do on those last chords? Right. I was actually it was a question, so I wanted you to verbal.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you definitely moved through to the final chord.
Right. Did you hear anything dynamically?
It was loud.
So you're not, well, this is why I'm asking, because what I'm trying to do is a crescendo.
Oh.
That wasn't coming
across. I mean, it felt like there was pedal on the final chord and that exaggerated the finale.
Okay, but so you didn't hear a crescendo? But that's not coming.
Not really, but maybe it's distorted through this video today.
Okay. Right. Again, that's why I'm asking. So as audience, as you can see, that one has to really, particularly these days, ask questions of the student to make sure what we're doing and experiencing on our end is coming across to them. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So yes. So that's what I would really like for it to grow to the end. So it's almost kind of an explosive. Yeah. You try that?
Yeah.
Okay. Right. Now, did you speed up on the last three chords because it sounded odd in the? Okay.
No, I just tried to arrive on the final beat.
Okay. Yeah, that was a distortion that we caught here. So one more time for good measure, and then we'll call it a day.
All right.
Here we go. Right. Yeah. And I would say ideally, rather than taking your hands off, at least one of them should stay on the key.
I like to flop off because it means I'm using the pedal.
Okay. Right. Yeah. So I don't mind something like that. I'm not a fan of this, the ghost, and then there's a pedal release after the hands are off. So I like there to be at least some kind of coordination visually. So
while it's sounding. Interesting. Yeah. Things I never think about because I don't perform for other people, so I'm not thinking about the visual. Yeah.
Right. Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much, Laurie, for your time. Appreciate it. And folks, you got to experience. Well, we had a fair number of things, of little glitches, nothing major, but you can see there are some challenges, and these are definitely exacerbated, unfortunately. So I wish it wasn't the case, but I have definitely noticed in the last few weeks that there are a lot more of these. So, all right, happy online teaching, everybody.
Thanks.